Hey everybody, welcome to the show. You know where you are, the 9 at 9 with me, Tigo. And you know what day it is. It is the fourth Monday of the month, which means we have a new expert for this quarter. And you know what? He's America's number one, not two, three, or four, number one money mentor. And he's going to show you how to get more out of your life, your business, even with your family. Ready to take control of your finances? I am. Sit right there. We'll be right back. Yeah, you heard me right. If you want more out of your life for your family, for yourself, let's go there. For your business, then you need to understand finance. And we got the number one money mentor in the house. My buddy, Chris Naugle's here. What's happening, Chris?
What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
Man, thanks for coming on. You are amazing. Every time you come on, I sit here and then I watch the replay and go, why didn't he tell me to close my mouth? Man, you are the king of understanding not only finance, but how to make it work better for individual people, not mega conglomerate businesses in the stock market and all that stuff, which is great. But it's awesome to know somebody who can truly help us, get to the next level. But today you want to talk about something that's kind of hurting. It's hurting a little bit. I mean, we're going to talk about inflation today, right? Ow.
Inflation, 8.5% is where we're at. That's the highest we've been at since the late 70s, early 80s, when, anyone that went through that period of time, you remember there was lines at gas pumps. You were getting, 8, 9% in your savings account. Your mortgage was costing you 12, 13%. Well, here, times are a little different, but we've got an inflation problem that we need to talk about.
Yeah, man, let's talk about it. One, let's start here. Everybody's wondering why. I assume it's because of the COVID pandemic, but I know you know the real reason. Why the heck are we going through this in the first place?
Yeah, it's different than other recessionary or inflationary periods that we've gone through. And one of the reasons is, like you said, the pandemic gave the Fed the ultimate ability to print money. I mean, that's what the Fed does. The Fed has the number one product that they've ever had, and that's the dollar, and they can print unlimited amounts of it. And the pandemic and COVID allowed them to print over $5 trillion. But see, the story goes back to actually 2008. In 2008 was when the printing really started to bail us out of the Great Recession. But then it never stopped. And to the tune of over $8 trillion, that's how much money's been printed since then, of which over $5.1 trillion has been printed since the pandemic started. So if you understand how printing works, it's basically the Fed prints the money. And then to get that money to the U.S. government, because they're definitely, a lot of people think the Fed and the government are the same. They're separate entities, totally different. So we won't go there, but the Fed prints the money. And then they exchange that money to the government in exchange for bonds called treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities. So when they exchange that, what that does is it puts a whole bunch of money into the markets, into the capital markets. And that's why everybody has felt rich lately. They felt like, wow, we've got stimulus checks, we've got PPP loans, EDIL loans, all, were part of the pandemic to bail us out of that. But all this new money in the system being pent up for some of us over a year. I'm out in New York. And then all of a sudden everything opens up. Of course, there's going to be a huge supply demand problem. Now everybody wants things, they want to buy things, but the supply isn't quite keeping up. And that drives inflation. But it is all driven because of all this new money that they printed. And this new money is exactly what drove inflation to where it's at. And the problem is the Fed normally would react faster, but they didn't. They printed all this money. It went out there. It stimulated the economy, gave a lot of people tons of money to spend. They kept interest rates really low, which all of a sudden has created this massive inflation rise. And it's not going to slow down in the near future, and it's going to create major issues. It's going to create issues because the Fed and the U.S. government are going to take massive action to slow inflation down. You're already seeing it. They're raising interest rates, okay, to the tune of 7 times this year. The first one, 25 basis points, took 30-year mortgage rates from about 3% to now, I just looked the other day, over 6%. That was just a 0.25%. The next one will be 0.5% and probably another half. And by the end of the year, we'll be over 2%. And people don't quite understand what that means. But that to me means you're slowing the entire economy down. You're going to stall Wall Street and the markets. And then that's just the first thing the Fed's doing. But that's all being done to curb this inflationary problem that the Fed was a little slow to react. They've even admitted they're a little behind the 8 ball on this one, and they're trying to play catch up. But don't let anything you read in the news or what the Fed tells you, don't let that be the gospel, because I'll tell you something. There's another reason why they're raising interest rates, and it's not just
here it comes.
It's not just because of inflation. That might be what they're telling you, but the Fed raising rates 7 times in a given year, there's something else that we probably should get out, eventually. But let's stick to inflation. So inflation means you pay more at the grocery store, you pay more, and a lot of people don't understand inflation. Inflation is literally hidden tax. It's your dollars buying less. They printed $5 trillion, which means your dollars went down in value. So it buys less goods and services. Your goods and services aren't really going up in price. Your dollar just buys less of them. And until they get a handle on that, things just keep going up and up and up. And we're at this teeter-totter part. So a lot of people make stupid, and I don't mean to be rude, but stupid decisions when you're in rising inflationary periods. They start talking smack like the cash is trash. My money I have, I got to get rid of it. I got to get it into something where it's going to keep pace with inflation or beat inflation. And that lies a big, big error for a lot of people. Because if you're taking your money and you're rushing into risky assets, and what do I define by risky assets? Stocks, okay, some bonds, crypto, even some crypto for sure. Even some real estate transactions. Everybody's trying to get rid of the cash because they think it's trash. They're putting them in risky assets. But what you're doing is you're actually buying into the market at the absolute top. So if you're doing that, what happens when the whole market stalls and everything comes down? Well, you start crying. You start wondering, well, why did I lose all this money? How come the money I put in the stock market is now down 30, 40, 50%? It's because you bought at the top. The secret to investing is buy low, sell high, and don't lose money. But everybody's buying high because they're worried about inflation. It's the biggest mistake people are making right now. And I see it happening because there's this overurging sense of FOMO going on. They think they're going to miss out on something, and they don't want to hold cash because they're worried that their cash is going to decline, which it is. But whether you do anything or not, your cash is declining anyway because of inflation. It always has been. A lot of people don't realize inflation. Since 1913, when the Fed came out. Okay, that's when the Fed, you got to read about it, but that's when the Fed was created. $100 had purchasing power of $100. Now, I can't trace up to 2022, but I can go to 2019. In 2019, Tigo, do you want to take a guess how much $100, okay, the purchasing power would have been diminished to in 2019? If it was $100.
From when it started?
Yeah, from when it started in 1913.
Probably $5 or $1 or something. It's not
You're
much.
close. You're close. $3.87. That was 2019. So now they just printed another $5 trillion or plus. How much is your dollar's purchasing power? Well, you're witnessing it right now.
Less than $1 from that $100. I can guarantee you. That's the joke that's running around. It's like the $100 bill is the new 20, and I said no. The $100 bill is the new dollar. That's basically what it is. That's amazing. Okay. Alan's already dropped the 2-minute warning. Oh my God, times go so fast with you. It's like, tell people how they can get in touch with you, how they can reach out to you, and exactly, in a minute time, what the heck it is you do besides talk about inflation.
I teach people the truth about money, how to save yourself from the mistakes you make with money because of the false lies you've been taught. So if you want to learn more, go to chrisnaugle.com or go to YouTube, because all my videos telling you what to do to curb inflation, beat inflation, and actually get ahead of this without taking more risk is all on YouTube. And that is at The Chris Naugle. So check out all the free content on my website and on YouTube.
Brother, you are amazing. I can't wait to see what we're going to talk about next month. Every time I just eat popcorn just to sit here and go, what? Really? Wow. You're the best at what you do. That's why you're number one. I thank you so much for being on.
It was an honor.
Awesome. Hey, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know what he talked about is like touchy for us all, but we need to know this stuff so we can get in front of it. And if you missed the website, chrisnaugle.com, go check them out. If you missed it there and you're driving or something, you know what to do. Go to tigodirect.com, type in Chris, type in Naugle. He'll come up. Send him a private message directly to him. You'll be able to reach him that way. You know there's no charge for you to use Tigo Direct. There's no charge for Chris to be on it either. It's just our way to make sure you can connect with these amazing experts that grace us with their time. All right, as always, I'm Tigo, and I'll talk to you next time. Man,